Nicky.
Hello.
It's true. Hello, Shemai.
Dayan Diaz to the team.
It's true to say that you are one of the faces and voices of Welsh football. Domestically, we're speaking initially. How did you come to be involved with Rondo Media, who of course are behind Scorio?
Yeah, well, it feels like a long time ago now, and it probably is because it's a long time ago. I more or less came straight out of university and got in touch with the company who at the time I think were looking for a reporter, because it was quite a different programme back then. We would have been covering the Spanish League and the German League and the Italian League, and they were looking for a reporter to go out and cover, games occasionally, and I was really lucky because I got the opportunity to go and do that. It wasn't every week, but for a season that was how I spent some of my weekends. Insane really to think about walking out onto the Camp Nou pitch side, and I think the first game that I ever did was stood on the side of the pitch and I had like Ronaldinho warming up next to me, and it was a season that I'll always remember. The programme then changed in format, so we turned into more of a studio based programme, and I found myself then doing lots more work on the production side. So I've gone from everything really, from being kind of a person that books the guests who are coming in, the person who makes the tea and arranges the buffet, and then when we had live programmes, then when we went into doing the Welsh Prem or the Cymru Premier as it is now, I would kind of go to the games on Saturday and maybe be involved with sitting with the person who was building the analysis, so discussing and selecting what goes into the analysis package, or which replays we're seeing, that kind of thing. So going into what's an OB environment, which from going and doing a studio based highlights show is completely different again really. So during this time I came to get to know lots of people from around the grounds and the clubs, and really I guess looking back that was so fortunate because it was what enabled me to build a relationship with clubs and different individuals, and also feel comfortable and confident enough to be able to do what I'm doing now, know the people first, get to know and understand who you're dealing with, and the context of the games, the importance of the games and so on. And it just kind of went on from there really.
So how did the progression itself take place, where the Nicky John that worked behind the scenes became the one that we're so familiar with on a TV screen?
I guess, thinking back, the programme, it's evolved and developed so many times over the years, and there was an opening where they were looking to do something a little bit different, and I didn't for a second consider that perhaps I might be the person to have a go or to fill that void, but it was suggested to me, because I think at the time I was probably looking into going more down the production side of things, and when I was asked whether I'd like to try it, I was quite uncertain, because having done things on the side of the pitch previously, I wasn't sure how comfortable I'd feel with doing it again, and also bearing in mind that to do that now I would be doing it in front of people that I'd come to know over the years, and I guess there's always that fear of am I going to come across okay, will I be able to cope with it. It's different sometimes doing it in front of strangers, because not that it doesn't matter so much what they think of you, but they don't know you, but I think sometimes when you feel you're doing it in front of people that you know and respect, and your workmates, your peers, if you like, you can have that little bit of insecurity a bit more. So I had to really go home and think about, am I going to give it a go? But deep down I knew that if I didn't, I'd regret it. And so I decided, okay, well, I'll have a go. I'll do the screen test. What's the worst that can happen is probably all these people that I've known and worked with for a few years can turn around and go, oh, do you know what, Nick, you had a go, but you're not right for this one, which you'd have to take. But no, I'm really glad that I did it, and it's been some years now, and I still consider myself very lucky to be doing it. I absolutely love it. Got to know lots of really good people over the years, and just, going to working at these games is, it is a joy. I feel really, really incredibly lucky to do what I do. And I'll enjoy it while I can for as long as I can.
Well, Nicky, we're glad you made that decision to go down that path, and you are a natural. You are very good at what you do. We're here at Park Hall, of course, and behind us we have all these history boards into the New Saints' success over the seasons. 8 championships on the bounce. It's a very close one this time round. As we speak right now, Barrytown United atop, Connors Quay second, TNS third. Will it be 9 on the bounce come the end of April?
Well, I think that's the big question, and I don't know, maybe I should turn that question on its head and ask it you. But it's really exciting for the league to see so much progression, so much competition. Competition is basically what we've been wanting to see from a neutral perspective over the last few years. I feel that we had it last season, and I feel that this season we're just going from strength to strength again. It feels like there's certainly more interest in the league. I mean, I have friends that I never knew really had that much interest in the league, and I'll have a message from them every now and again going, whoa, did you see that result? Oh, so-and-so beats it, So it's really nice. I feel that the league is growing and going from strength to strength, and it is good to see from a neutral's perspective that it's a lot more open in terms of competition, and it's the kind of league this season where anyone can take points from anyone, as you may have found. But I mean, just looking at all these pictures behind, I've been there and seen on so many of these days, seen the trophy being lifted, and who knows come May? Who knows? We'll see.
And although TNS has dominated, of course, in recent years, ultimately that is good for Welsh football, because the club has then gone on to play in Europe, as we see on some of these boards behind us, the likes of Liverpool, Manchester City, just to name 2. That is good for Welsh football overall. Yeah,
of course, it's massive for Welsh football. I mean, you just have to look back over the summer and the clubs that represented our league in Europe, the impact that they made, the attention that came from that. It's fantastic, and we say season upon season, well, what we'd like to see next is to see Welsh teams go a step further, and I think we are starting to see that now, certainly.
And Connors Quay progressed, of course, to another round. Unfortunately, Barrytown United and Cardiff Met didn't. But I went to watch Barrytown United play against Cliftonville at the Leckworth Stadium in Cardiff.
Can you imagine if that would have been at Jenner Park? Can you imagine? It's great. It's like I say, this is what we've been hoping to see over recent years, and I think we're all moving in the right direction.
I mentioned domestically at the start of our little chat today, because we now want to move on to the international stage. Now, all those years ago, when you were in Spain, on the side of the pitch, all those players around you, did you for one moment imagine that one day in the future you would be there interviewing the likes of those players yourself?
No, it was weird, because when I was going out to Spain to do that kind of thing, I was also going into post-match scenario afterwards. So you do go into the kind of sheep pen and just stand there, get ready to ask whichever player you can walking through the mix zone in very poor Spanish, or wherever you might be, and just hope that they will come and speak to you. And sometimes they did. Sometimes I was very lucky. But the difference with doing the internationals now is that I'm there on behalf of S4C, and as one of the main broadcasters, the Wales squad will come and, it's not like when you're in that mixed zone scenario where you're hoping that they'll stop. They will stop and come and speak to you. So there's an element of relief in one way, that you're not just chancing it, hoping that they'll stop, because you do know that they're going to have to come and speak to you. And it's a job that I'm honoured and privileged to do. I still, obviously, very proud Welsh as well, and it's an honour and a privilege, because obviously I've been a fan, and I was on maternity leave during the last Euros, but I've sat on the sofa at home then and watched the games, and before then as well, so it's kind of, sometimes you have to take the fan hat off and put the professional hat on and just obviously enjoy it. I absolutely love it, but as I say, I'm absolutely 100% aware that it's an honour and a privilege to do it, and that there are tens of hundreds of people that would absolutely love a crack at doing it as well.
And I did ask you whether TNS would make it 9 on the bounce. What about the Wales national side as far as qualification is concerned?
Well, we're all crossing everything. We're very aware that, 2 massive games. It feels like we've said that throughout the campaign, really, but these are 2 massive games now. First away at Azerbaijan. To be without Joe Allen is certainly going to be a huge blow. Ramsey, we can cross our fingers and hope that he might be available, and it would be good to have, because he hasn't been involved during the campaign so far, but I think he was training with Juventus yesterday, so all fingers crossed for that. But as I say, to be without someone as substantial as Joe Allen, because these are your players that can get creative and change games, and make a difference. Gareth Bale is obviously another one. Azerbaijan away, and then to finish on the Tuesday night with Hungary at home. It's difficult to look too far ahead to that Hungary one yet, because obviously the first game on the Saturday is going to be so important. But with the fan hat back on, all I can do is cross everything and just hope for the best. And if there is a game where you're going to go away and hope that you can take points, then it's Azerbaijan away. So fingers crossed.
Well, Nicky, I've really enjoyed our chat today. Normally you're doing the one asking the questions, but today the boot has been...
I know how everyone else feels now, sorry.
The boot has been on the other foot, so to speak. Perhaps next month you will be interviewing Gareth Bale and Ryan Giggs, but for now you're here at Park Hall to have a chat with Scott Rusko and Aaron Edwards.
Yeah, I'm off to see them now, so hopefully not keep them waiting for too long. Otherwise I'll be in trouble.
Nicky, thank you for your time. Diolch yn fawr.
Diolch yn fawr iawn, thank you.